They say necessity is the mother of all invention, and at the moment we have never seen such necessity or had such an opportunity to be creative and inventive in what we do.
As I think about the Civic Century, I think about how rapidly the world is changing and how important it is for all of us to keep up with the changing needs in communities around us.
At the end of the day, my belief in the power of community when it works together has immensely been built up. Furthermore, I think in times like these, we're able to see how when we work together, can we grow together.
We've been amazed at the creativity that our communities and our individuals have shown in caring for others and holding on to that value in the midst of the emergency. All of those things are volunteerism. All of those things are civic engagement. And all of those things make a difference in the world. An emergency in any day.
And we are at our best when we come together to tackle challenging problems.
How will people turn passion into action? I've heard people say that either you have passion or you don't. But passion is something that develops in you over time. When you see someone who's vulnerable or disadvantaged and something bad happens to them, and it stirs something in you that says, I want to do something to improve their life. That's passion at work.
People understand the urgency to help families who need it the most. And as long as we try to keep people safe while volunteering and just fill essential needs, we will continue to serve.
This may be the toughest challenge yet, but I am confident that the spirit of innovation will carry us onward.
Work like ours never stops. Our world has changed drastically, and it seems as if our problems have only increased. But as these issues grow, so does the desire to make a profound positive impact.
Our volunteers are still out supporting people. They are still out manning food banks. They are still out maintaining and reducing social isolation. They're entertaining people, they're helping with education, and they're doing this under circumstances that we would have not have even imagined just a few weeks ago. This army of extra capacity that has come to our communities is nothing less than staggering. I think the pandemic will mean many things to many people, but for me, it will always be the day of the volunteer.
As a community of leaders, organizers, volunteers, and social media mavens, teachers, and advocates, we've proven time and time again that when the going gets tough, we rise. We defeat apathy with empathy. We create communities where all can participate, and we find the good in people, in humanity. Hello and welcome. My name is Melissa Kaspagan, and I was honored to be named a Daily Point of Light number 6,655 for the work I do with my nonprofit, 1000 Books For. I began this organization when I was 13 after visiting Mongolia, and my eyes were opened to the lack of resources available to local children. Today, we provide education and resources to students, not only in Mongolia, but in other developing countries as well, all thanks to donations and book drives. It's my privilege to officially welcome you to the 2020 Points of Light Conference. While this is not quite the DC we had imagined, we are grateful for the opportunity to convene as a community in this online experience. This year's conference is unique, as this unforeseen change has allowed us to do something we've never done before. By casting a wider net, we're able to bring thousands of global leaders and organizations to the table at the same time to take part in the conversation over the course of days, weeks, months. We have erased the sidelines. Our conference experience is home to many voices, multiple keynote speakers, the Points of Light global affiliates, corporate partners, and of course, experts leading workshops. There's much to see, hear, and participate in. All of this content will be live beyond its launch, and new content will be added regularly on our on-demand platform for knowledge sharing and community building. In fact, it is called the Points of Light community. So stick around and take it all in. Now is your chance to participate in every single workshop, or perhaps just one. The options are endless. Send a tweet, jump on Instagram to share your conference journey, and don't forget to use the hashtag PointsOfLight20. This is your experience. Learn, grow, and engage however you see fit. We'll be here a while. It's now my pleasure to introduce Points of Light Chairman Neil Bush. If you have had the opportunity to attend this conference, you know that Neil is passionate about this community and doesn't miss this gathering. After spending several weeks at home, I heard he was taking extra special steps to get ready to join us. Neil?
In 1 hour, I'm going to be making a presentation to thousands of friends at our Points of Light conference this year, the online experience. And I'm wondering what my mother's advice would be, the old silver fox. She'd probably say something like, "Coroni, baloney, shave off that damn beard, Neil." Okay, here we go. Ready to go. Mom would be so proud.
Yeah, feels pretty darn good to have that beard shaved off. Melissa, thank you so much for kicking things off so beautifully, and thank you for being a bright point of light in the lives of others. And I want to welcome all of you to my office here in Houston, Texas, where I'm surrounded by photos that remind me every single day of the great work being done by Points of Light all over the world. I love this portrait of my father over my shoulder. My father challenged us by saying that any definition of a successful life must include service to others. And he taught us through his own life that leading with love, that serving with humility are values that need to be emulated and embraced. I love this picture of the former presidents. It reminds me that after Dad started Points of Light, that every succeeding president added their own initiative that promotes national service and volunteerism. There is a powerful presidential legacy to our good work. And this picture was a great picture taken during a ceremony. President Obama very kindly invited my father and Points of Light to bestow the 5,000th Daily Point of Light Award in the White House. This photo demonstrates and speaks to the fact that ours is not a partisan movement. Ours is a powerful force for social good that brings us together, proving that service unites. And these incredibly challenging times call on all of us to rise up as a movement, to unite in service to those millions of people who will be facing unimaginable hardship. The full pain and suffering of the economic collapse has yet to be felt. Governments are jumping in with critical aid, but this government intervention alone will not address the enormous human need. This is our moment to rise. We need to find our common humanity. We need to show compassion. We need to find new ways to do the old work of lifting our brothers and sisters in times of despair and great pain. As the days turn into weeks of social distancing and stay-at-home orders, I've wondered, what can I do? My father taught us by saying, we all have something to give. So if you know how to read, find someone who can't. If you've got a hammer, find a nail. If you're not hungry, not lonely, not in trouble, seek out someone who is. It's that philosophy that led me, like so many of you, to take action. The Bush China Foundation tapped into our circle of friends in China to donate nearly 300,000 masks to various agencies right here in Houston. There are literally millions of points of light around the world taking action, like U.S. Army veteran O.D. Harris in Chandler, Arizona. He created the Citizens Coronavirus Task Force to help the most vulnerable by picking up and dropping off prescriptions, collecting and delivering masks to healthcare workers, and conducting supply drives for the local food bank. Charitable organizations are bending with the times and innovating. Points of Light Global Network affiliate Activate Good in North Carolina launched Kindness Calls, in which volunteers will Zoom with seniors and elderly facilities to interact and socialize. And our affiliate in Bulgaria created Superhumans, where volunteers are invited to share their professional superpower. What a great idea. They offer to support someone who needs help during isolation, everything from assistance with children's math, online yoga, graphic design, financial planning, and much more. Perhaps there has never been a more vivid moment in time when the entire world can see and experience the power of the human spirit to shine a bright light in this time of darkness. Today, Dad's legacy has global reach. Points of Light mobilizes millions of people through our Points of Light Global Network in 37 countries. And the Daily Point of Light Award program he started from the White House continues to recognize everyday people who do extraordinary things to help others, including Melissa. You'll be meeting other Points of Light during this program. The award program has expanded to the United Kingdom through the Prime Minister's office, and the Queen of England honors people globally with the Commonwealth Points of Light Award. This year, as Points of Light celebrates its 30th anniversary, let us commit that this be the year that sees our voluntary service movement leap forward. These times call for it. Our world needs a resurgence of compassion and kindness, and each of you has a role to play. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for sharing your light through the work that you do every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. My name is Kimberly Clay, and I was honored with the Daily Point of Light Award 6,659. In 2004, I founded Play Like a Girl, a Nashville-based nonprofit supported by an army of volunteers, women athletes, coaches, and executives who act as mentors and role models to middle school girls. At Play Like a Girl, we champion equality and economic opportunity for all girls, no exceptions. And we deliver on that promise every single day without fail. In fact, we envision a world where all girls have the opportunity to reach their full potential. And to accomplish this, we are on a bold mission to leverage the collective power of women to help build a diverse pipeline of young women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So during this period of COVID-19, we've had to go to what we know best, our people, just like you, our friends, our families, our coworkers, our community. The same rings true for Points of Light. For 30 years, our partners and sponsors have stuck by our side and continue to do so, even today as we launch a new on-demand platform. Thanks to our sponsors and Points of Light's own investment, this year's conference registration is complimentary, allowing us to remove barriers and enable organizations across the world the opportunity to learn, be inspired, and network. So to all of our partners and friends, thank you. We thank you. And we thank you. We thank you who are doing the work in communities all across the globe, people who are leveraging their community and giving back to their people. Thank you. UPS, for example, is using its size, scale, and expertise to make real meaningful impact in communities across the world, including yours, every single day. UPS believes that volunteer engagement is key to building safer, more resilient, and inclusive communities, and we agree. In addition to its employee volunteerism, UPS and the UPS Foundation provide significant financial and in-kind support to nonprofits like the American Red Cross, Salvation Army, World Food Program, UNICEF, CARE, and United Nations High Commissioner of Refugees. As the coronavirus pandemic continues, UPS is delivering urgently needed materials through its global relief efforts and is using its logistics expertise to help communities, customers, and nonprofits like Play Like a Girl pivot to join the fight. They're on the front lines, delivering goods and keeping us connected every day. And we just so happen to be in the great company of UPS now. Please welcome UPS Executive Chairman, David Abney.
Thank you, Dr. Clay, for that gracious introduction. It's a real pleasure for me to be here. In 2014, in one of my first public statements as Chairman and CEO-elect of UPS, I stood on the main stage at the Points of Light annual conference in Atlanta, and I made a commitment. UPS would achieve 20 million volunteer hours by the end of 2020. Ambitious? Yes. But it was based on the dedication of UPSers around the world who don't stop at serving customers and have a profound passion to volunteer in support of their communities and help when it is needed most. The following year, UPS announced a second global commitment. Working with our leading environmental partners, we committed to planting 15 million trees by the end of 2020. That commitment was based on our sense of urgency and care to improve and safeguard our environment. But we never imagined the situation we find ourselves in today. The global pandemic has created a world of need and uncertainty. And for those already dealing with difficulties, the need is now greater. Since its founding, UPS has embraced the broadest definition of community service. With 495,000 UPSers around the world, many on the front lines every day, we see firsthand the challenges facing our communities. UPSers around the world have always worked tirelessly to make a difference, to be change makers. Today is no different. Establishing a network of local UPS teams around the world has enabled us to deliver relief in communities worldwide. By aligning our local teams with the local teams of our partners, we've established a global network of support and relief. We've focused our philanthropic and humanitarian efforts on funding and support for urgently needed food, healthcare, education, and financial sustainability. We've supported those in need, the vulnerable, helping them become more visible and more viable. Words cannot express how proud I am of the women and men of UPS who have courageously and relentlessly stepped forward every day to be part of the solution. UPS's role in the world has become apparent. We don't only deliver packages, we don't only keep the global economy flowing, we deliver life. We deliver hope. So it is with great pride and tremendous respect that I announce to you today, we didn't just honor the commitments I made, we raised the bar. UPS employees, their families, and friends not only provided 20 million volunteer hours of service, they did it well in advance of our goal of the end of this year. This achievement has impacted the lives of millions of people and helped to advance the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And thanks to the efforts of UPS employees and the wonderful nonprofits and NGOs we work with, we have already exceeded our tree planting goal before the end of this year. By the end of this year, we will have planted almost 15.5 million trees in 58 countries, which will provide sources of food, jobs, protection from hurricanes and erosion, and cleaner air for generations to come. Many of you are aware that after 46 years at UPS, over 70% of my life, I have retired as CEO. As my 7 precious grandchildren have been telling me the past couple of years, Papa, it's time to play. While it has not always been play, representing UPS and our partnership with Points of Light has been one of the highlights of my time as CEO. And now I am passing the torch to Carol Tomei. She is a leader who has my utmost respect and confidence, a leader who can guide us through the challenges ahead with tremendous skill and compassion. A servant leader dedicated to fulfilling UPS's role as an important source of strength, knowledge, and experience through our business and commitment to our global citizenship. Never before has the need for unified solutions been so apparent. As we move through the next phases, we'll continue to partner with Points of Light with all of you who support this movement and the dedicated network of civil society partners, customers, and stakeholders we've worked with so successfully. We'll be there for our communities, for those who need us, and we'll carry on the UPS tradition of service that has been our cornerstone for 113 years. On behalf of the 495,000 UPSers around the world, thank you.
Thank you, David. And thank you to all of the organizations stepping up during this time. I, like so many, have felt and seen firsthand the impact of your efforts in our sector. We are not just in this together, but we will get through this together. President and CEO of Points of Light, Natalye Paquin, believes this too. Please welcome her now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Points of Light Conference online experience. I'm so excited to be talking to you, thousands of you, wow, who are joining us from all over the world. Big wow. Today, we find ourselves in circumstances that are challenging. Hosting our conference in a way that may be different, but the sentiment, the hope, the excitement remain. The world has changed, but Points of Light commitment to renewing our collective energy for our work remains steadfast and strong. This year, we know you're working harder than ever. You find yourselves stretched and challenged, taking on new work or more work in new and innovative ways, or both. We applaud you and thank you. During these unprecedented times, we could have canceled or postponed this event, but we know this work, your work, is too important, and we wanted to give you the opportunity to take a breath, to listen, share, network, and recharge, because you are the leaders that your communities are leaning on. Some of you work for organizations or companies that are 100 years old, and some of you are mutual aid organizations that started 3 months ago. Some of you are individuals who are looking to help, who have a skill and want to give it back. To the established organizations, lean into the nimbleness of the new one. To the new organizations, learn from those who have faced big disasters before. Each of you will take away different things from our speakers in this online experience, but be sure to share insights with and learn from each other. Last year in Minnesota, when we unveiled our concept of the Civic Century, I spoke about being intentional and about how to engage people in more innovative ways. And now we're trying to do this in an era of social distancing. This pandemic is the ultimate disruptor of our lifetime and underscores the promise of the Civic Century in ways we could have never predicted last year. An impact that has hit us all at once and all at the same time. But around the world, we're seeing the power of people as they answer the call. As I speak with you right now, in Hong Kong, volunteers work to make distance learning accessible for hearing impaired students. In London, professionals connect with people to combat isolation and provide emotional support for those in need. In Washington, D.C., an urban gardening club distributes free farm seeds so people living in urban food deserts can grow fresh produce at home. These are just a few snapshots of what's happening around the world. What we call the invisible economy is being thrust into the spotlight, bridging the gaps and filling the needs of communities worldwide. Last year, volunteers contributed $203 billion of value to the US economy. This invisible economy is dependent on people giving of their time, talent, and resources to help support communities. And you, the leaders joining us today, have been coordinating and organizing to bring this economy the power of the people where it's needed most. But now the need for your services are greater than ever before, and we're facing unprecedented challenges on how to deliver them. We know from the Points of Light Global Network that 92% have experienced a disruption to services, while 75% said they have seen an increase in demand for their services. The needs were already great, and now, in many cases, are becoming greater. You may have heard the expression, we may not be in the same boat, but we're in the same storm. Yes, we're all in the same storm, but usually a storm makes it hard to see. But this storm, this pandemic, has made things clearer. The vulnerable have become visible. When I worked in the Chicago public school system, we kept schools open under almost any circumstances because we knew that schools were safe havens for students, sometimes physically, sometimes emotionally, and often both. And now children all over the world are being sent home, whether it's in communities where their parents are essential workers, unable to be home and present, or rural areas where broadband and technology are a hindrance to learning online. Children are slipping through the cracks, even more so than before. Some may have lost up to 8 months of learning, setting them on a new trajectory, widening and accelerating a learning and achievement gap. This gap can lead to a loss of self-esteem and emotional stability that can be hard to catch up on. Who will intervene before our children explore dropping out? The vulnerable are visible. This is just one example, but we can't unsee what has been brought into our view. The cracks in the foundation have been shown. As we rebuild our world and create the new normal, we have to ensure that the challenges faced by most vulnerable remain visible, that the foundational work we do every day stays at the forefront of people's minds. What is our role as civic leaders, the ones who have been building the foundation in our communities for years to innovate, to learn, and lead into the vision of the civic century, so people can still engage while apart? Where are the opportunities to transform the sector so that the next time the storm comes, there are less hungry people to feed and we're more equipped to do it? We heard from all of you that this is the information you're looking for. How do we plan? How do we innovate? How do we change our work and our world? We have wonderful sessions ahead. Our 3 opening speakers, cherished friends of Points of Light, will give you the tools you need to make those decisions and help you think through what's next. Bob Johansson, a futurist, will teach you the power of foresight and full spectrum thinking. Larry Keeley from Deloitte will offer you practical tools to think innovatively and map out possibilities. And David Brooks will share stories to inspire you through the eyes of those who are quietly transforming our culture and strengthening our civic life. Each of you will take away something different from those